In 1965, the U.S. Mint made a change that ended 173 years of American history. And because of a simple mistake during that change, some quarters from that year are worth thousands of dollars today. Here's exactly what happened and how to find one. By the early 1960s, the price of silver was rising fast. U.S. dimes and quarters were made of 90% silver, and people started noticing something. The silver inside the coin was becoming worth more than the coin itself. So Americans began pulling silver coins out of circulation and hoarding them. That caused a real coin shortage across the country. To fix it, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Coinage Act of 1965. Starting that year, dimes and quarters would no longer be made of silver. Instead, they'd be made of a copper-nickel outer layer bonded to a pure copper core, what collectors call clad coins. You can actually see this today. Look at the edge of any modern quarter. That thin copper stripe running through the middle? That's the clad sandwich. Here's where it gets interesting. The mint was under massive pressure to produce coins fast, running presses around the clock to end the shortage. During that rush, leftover silver planchets, the blank metal discs used to strike old coins, these got mixed in with the new copper-nickel planchets. The result? A small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on 90% silver blanks instead of the new clad ones. These are called transitional errors, and they're some of the most famous mistakes in American coinage. A regular 1965 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but one of these rare silver ones weighs 6.25 grams, noticeably heavier. And in December 2020, one of these silver era 1965 quarters sold at Stack's Bowers auction for $16,800. So, how do you check if you're holding one? First, get a digital scale. If your 1965 quarter weighs close to 6.25 grams instead of 5.67, that's your first clue. Second, look at the edge. A normal clad quarter shows a thin copper line running around the rim. A silver transitional error shows no copper line at all, just solid silver gray all the way around. Third, listen to the sound. Silver coins tend to produce a higher, clearer ring when tapped, compared to the duller sound of a clad coin. One important warning. Most 1965 quarters that look silvery are just clean, well-preserved clad coins. The weight test is what actually confirms it, not just appearance. The silver error isn't the only thing to look for. There's also a doubled die variety from 1965, where the design was struck twice at a slightly different angle during die making. You'll see this doubling most clearly in the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Depending on condition, these have sold for hundreds to over $1,000. There are also special mint set coins from 1965. These were sold directly to collectors that year in place of proof coins, since regular proof production was paused during the silver transition. SMS coins have a slightly sharper strike and a semi-reflective surface. In top condition, graded MS68, these have sold for over $2,600. And one more thing worth knowing. This same kind of transitional mix-up wasn't limited to 1965. In 2026, a single 1966 silver quarter surfaced in Pennsylvania, graded AU53, with auction bids exceeding $24,400. It's proof that these transitional errors can still turn up decades later. What makes the 1965 quarter special isn't just the dollar value, it's the history. This coin sits exactly at the line between two eras of American money, the last year of real silver coinage, and the first year of the clad coins we still use today. Over 1.8 billion 1965 quarters were minted, all in Philadelphia, and none of them carry a mint mark. That was normal for 1965 through 1967, not an error. Most of these coins are common and worth face value. But because so many were struck so quickly during such a chaotic transition, a small number of genuine mistakes slip through. And those mistakes are exactly what collectors are hunting for today. So next time you find a 1965 quarter, don't just spend it. Weigh it. Check the edge. Look closely at the lettering. That coin in your pocket might just be a piece of the moment America's money changed forever.